Battelle did the study. The study was not publicly distributed, but instead very wide distribution was given to a press release in which the Secretary of the Air Force was quoted. Here's what he said. Now, it's funny about this press release, they didn't mention the title of the report. Surely if somebody had said special report number 14, other people would have said, the press would have said, what do you mean 14? What happened to 1 through 13? The proper answer, had it been given, which it wouldn't have, was that they were all classified. It didn't say who did the work, so nobody could go ask Battelle about this. Kind of a strange beginning. Here's what the Secretary of the Air Force said. On the basis of this study, we believe that no objects such as those properly described as flying saucers have overflown the United States. I feel certain that even the unknown 3% could have been explained as conventional phenomena or illusions if more complete observational data had been obtained. Well, it's pretty straightforward. They did this huge study. Only 3% couldn't be identified just because there wasn't enough data. That's what the public was told. Here's the data from that study. You'll notice that the unknowns, the bottom line, were 21.5%. 21.5% is not a round off of 3%. You notice the next to the last line, insufficient information. It's crystal clear they had a separate category. If there wasn't enough data, in contrast with what the Secretary said, the data absolutely could not be listed as an unknown. Instead, it had to be listed as insufficient information. So on both counts, he was flat out lying. Balderdash. We had a huge research and development industry built up during the war for the Manhattan Project, among other things, to develop nuclear weapons, you know. To give you an example, Los Alamos Labs had 8,000 employees a year. So did Sandia National Laboratory. So did Lawrence Livermore. Then there was Hanford and Oak Ridge. I worked for General Electric on this aircraft nuclear propulsion program. In 1958, we employed 3,500 people, of whom 1,100 were engineers and scientists. That year, we spent $100 million. That's not 4 professors and 8 grad students. Never mind the saucer. Did you see the guys who were driving? Constant question. Yes, we have more than 4,000 physical trace cases from 80 countries that Ted Phillips in Missouri has collected. 1/6 of those involve reports of beings alongside the craft, which land out in the middle of nowhere, and when they take off, often leave physical changes behind. Burn circles, burn rings, landing gear marks. Strange stuff. Here's the woman who built 27 different 3-dimensional models of our local galactic neighborhood to see if she could find a 3-dimensional fit to Betty's 2-dimensional drawing. Marjorie Fish, you can see it was taken a few years ago. You notice my beard is a little bit darker than it is now. Brilliant gal, incredible amount of work. This is one of her models. Each one of those beads strung on fish line stands for a particular star in its proper 3-dimensional location. That was the hard part. The astronomers weren't going anywhere, so you get 5 different catalogs, you get 5 different distances for the star, for a particular star. To aim a telescope at a star, it takes 2 angles. Doesn't matter whether it's 20 light years or 40 light years. Exciting piece of work. Now, Seth Shostak will tell you for the SETI Institute, oh, there's nobody there. We listened. We didn't hear anything from either one of the vicinity of either one of those stars. Like that's a big deal. Why would you expect to? Now you had Stephen Hawking saying something to the effect that we shouldn't tell anybody we're here because look what Columbus' visit led to for the natives. And others saying that, my goodness, if they were coming here, they'd have let us know first, like Columbus sent smoke signals to the natives, of course. And a simple question would be, why? Is that the way people act? Thinking beings act? Now, for some reason, astronomers act as if they know a lot about human behavior, no less alien behavior. If you were making a list of professionals to whom you would wish to ask questions about human motivation, where would astronomers be on that list? I mean, you might have psychiatrists, psychologists, even lawyers, social workers, but astronomers? How very strange, how unscientific to make pronouncements about behavior when you know about astronomy. You don't know anything about deep space travel. You don't know anything about UFOs. It's a weird world we live in. Ignorance triumphs over facts and data. This bust was done by Marjorie Fish based on Barney Hill's description under hypnosis of what the aliens look like. It's your typical little gray guy, you know, under 4 foot tall, big eyes, practically no nose, mouth, ears, just little holes. Your typical little gray guy. I don't know what else to call him.